Hi everybody, welcome to DST Racing Projects again. I'm Dave.
I'm Steve.
This week, as you can see,
there's a big hole.
Big hole. So what we're going to do today is we're going to build the engine.
Right, due to a technical hitch, we've had to do a voiceover on this one. As you can see, we've prepared the crankcase and the crankshaft and the transmission units ready for assembly. The crankshaft was overhauled for us by RWH Motorcycles in Lincoln. As we go along, we will apply some lubricant to the parts that we put together, so that on initial start-up we're not starving anything of oil or any lubrication, so that this lessens the chance of seizure or damage. Right, you're listening to that, Dawson. Make sure you take notes. Okay, right, first shaft in is Gearbox input shaft. Just need to make sure that we line up the selector forks. There you go, you can see my able-bodied assistant in there, the lovely Dave McGee, getting his hands in there and helping. Sometimes it's good to have some helping hands when you're doing these sort of jobs. Okay, we need to make sure that the bearing clips or half moon segments are in place to stop the bearings moving about. Now this is a particular favourite of Dave. He likes to fiddle with the clutch rod and make sure that the seal is sitting on the bit that it should be sat on. Okay, we'll drop in the output shaft now. Just put some turns on that. We're not going to tighten that because we will probably change the sprocket size at a later time. Okay, again, a nice little bit of help in there is useful. Just drop that in, make sure everything's lined up, get the clips in the right place. There we go, both sides. That seal is in place. Okay, we'll wobble it, we'll give it a spin, make sure everything rotates nicely within the crankcase, and we will pour a little lubricant across the top of this gear train, again to give it a flying start. Come on Dave, give us that here. Right, thank you. There we go. Just a little drop of oil, and then we'll give it a spin to make sure that the oil is liberally distributed over the cogs. Happy with that? Okay. The next bit is the crankshaft itself. Whoop, just thrown that away, we'll put it back in. Right, just making sure it fits. Time is on our side, we're not in a hurry. Okay, as you can see, the bearings on a previous crankshaft have been hammering a bit. We've measured it all up and we're not too concerned about it. So what we're going to do is just put some Loctite bearing fit on there, or bearing glue, call it what you will, just to make sure that the bearings don't rotate and that they actually stay in place. Sometimes one dot of it will do. Oops, I forgot to do the Labyrinth seal as well. Just making sure not to get any of this substance down any of the lubricating holes, because the last thing we need to do is for it to block. Okay, crankshaft. As I said earlier, overhauled for us by RWH Motorcycles in Lincoln. Right, we're going to fit the seals. again using ZX1 products. It's useful to again put a little bit of lubricant on there to stop it failing on startup. Now what I'm seeing here is the words outside on that seal, which tells me that which side of the seal goes to the outside of the crank. Not out there, Neil. Okay, the same with the seal the other side, although I don't need to put that on yet because I can get that on afterwards. Okay, we'll just drop that in there gently, making sure that everything lines up nicely. There are some little pips on these bearings which line up with some little noggins in the crankcase which locate them and stop them moving about. Again, there is half moon clips that need to be sat in the bearings, and everything is lined up nicely. You'll notice that the crankshaft seal also sits in a groove, which makes it difficult to replace it should it leak. Right, we'll just put some more, or my lovely assistant Dave McGee will put some lubricant in the big end areas again, so that it just aids startup. There you go, just drop the other seal in. Now we've got the crank in. Dave have a swig of his tea because I've drunk mine probably, because he says I've got asbestos gob. Well, he's probably right. I just like my tea warm. Okay, that's everything back in there, and Dave's pointing at things. I don't know what he's pointing at, but we're happy. Everything is in where it should be. Okay. Just check everything once, twice, 3 times. Okay, there, right. What we'll do now is we'll put some sealant on the surfaces of the crankcase before we assemble it, and we'll move on from there. Just put it on all surfaces. Doesn't need to be thick, just needs to be a smear. It just makes it oil tight. We're using a substance called ThreeBond, which is the same stuff as you buy from Yamaha, only half the price. Again, it's on there, it works. Whoop, Dave, we'll just drop that top half of that case on there. There we go, should fit nicely. Well, it's fell off its block again. These things are never they're never going to help you by standing still for you.
Getting the old, that's golf terminology, isn't it? Alright. Lovely. Superb. Dribble down there.
You got a dribble down there?
Yeah, I do.
You've done this before, Dave?
Only once or thrice. There we go. Perfect.
Lovely jubbly.
Still drinking my tea. Asbestos gob finished his ages ago. See, when we've done this, Steve,
Yes.
you can have a play with the muck junkie again and clean all them.
Thank you ever so much.
It's alright, not a problem. So basically that's now the bottom half of the crankcase is all put back together. Gearbox all done. We can start looking at doing the clutch and stuff like that, can't we?
We can.
So we'll
Well, then we've got an O-ring.
yeah, well, that can go in afterwards, can't it? Right. Well, we can get everything ready.
There's going to be oil fall out there, Dave.
It don't matter, does it?
No, because I suppose I'm going to clean it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Want me?
With me muck junkie.
Yeah, you won't jump in.